Hello everyone. Today let us discuss about components of BOP. The components of BOP consist of current account and capital account. In current account we have export and import of goods, export and import of services, unilateral transfers, income receipts and payments. In capital account, borrowings and lendings, investment, change in foreign exchange reserves. First, current account. Current account refers to the account which records all the transactions that relate to the actual receipts and payments of the visible items, invisible items and unilateral transfers during a specific period of time. It is a statement that records the trade of goods and services and current transfers during a specific period. In simple words, the current account focuses on the transactions related to tangible items, that is goods, intangible items, services, and one-side transfers, that is gifts and grants. Components of current account can be further categorized into first, export and import of goods, that is visible trade or merchandise transactions. Transactions in foreign trade mostly include the export and imports of goods or visible items. Payment for the import of visible items or goods is recorded on the debit side, and receipt from exports of visible items is recorded on the credit side of balance of payment account. The balance of visible export and import of goods is called balance of trade or trade balance. Number 2, export and import of services, that is invisible trade. It is also known as invisible trade because the services being intangible cannot be spotted moving across the border. For example, insurance and banking. The balance of invisible items, export minus import, is known as balance of invisible trade. The payments of services are recorded on the debit side and receipts on the credit side of the balance of payment account. Services can be categorized into 3 parts, that is banking, insurance and shipping. Number 3, unilateral or unrequited transfers to and from abroad. One-sided transactions. These transfers occur between a resident and a non-resident in the form of gifts, grants and donations. It also includes official transfers like grants in cash and donations. These are one-sided transactions and are commonly named transfers for free. These are payments and receipts that occur without receiving any in-kind services. It is generally considered as a part of invisible in the BOP account. The receipt of unilateral transfers from the rest of the world is recorded on the credit side and payments on the debit side of BOP. Number 4, income receipts and payments to and from abroad. It involves investment income in the form of rent, profits and interest. Balance on current account. Current account surplus. It means credit items are more than debit items, shows net inflow of foreign exchange. Exports is more than imports of goods and services, implies that country lends to the outside world. Balanced current account shows that credit items is equal to debit items, indicates inflow is equal to outflow and export is equal to import. Current account deficit. It means credit items is less than debit items, shows net outflow of foreign exchange. Exports are less than imports of foreign services, implies that country borrows from the outside world. Number 2, capital account. It comprises all the transactions which has a direct or indirect impact on the assets and liabilities of the country or government with regard to the outside world. Under these transactions, like loans and investments are recorded among the country and the outside world. Thus, it can be concluded that capital accounts cause potential claims. Sometimes there is a confusion regarding whether the export and import of capital goods can be included in the capital account or not. But the answer to this question is no. It is so because the export and import of goods, whether capital or consumer, are included in the current account. Thus, it is irrelevant in the case of the capital account. In simple terms, a capital account includes those transactions which cause a change in the assets or liabilities of a country's residents or its government. Components of capital account. First, borrowings and lendings to and from abroad. The capital account consists of all the transactions related to borrowings from abroad by the government, private sector, etc. The receipts and repayments of such loans are recorded on the credit side of BOP. Similarly, all the transactions related to lending to abroad by the government and private sector are included in the capital account. These transactions are recorded on the debit side of BOP. Number 2, investments to and from abroad. The second component of the capital account consists of all the investments by the rest of the world in shares of Indian companies, real estates, etc. These transactions from the rest of the world are recorded on the credit side of BOP, as these transactions bring foreign exchange to the country. Besides, it is also including all the investments made by the Indian residents in shares of foreign companies, real estates abroad, etc. These transactions are recorded on the debit side of the BOP as they result in the outflow of foreign exchange. Number 3, change in foreign exchange reserves. The financial assets of the government held in the central bank are known as foreign exchange reserves. If there is a change in the reserves, it serves as the financial item in the India's BOP. Hence, any withdrawal from the reserves is recorded on the credit side of BOP, and any addition to the reserves are recorded on the debit side of BOP. Also, any changes in the reserve is recorded in the BOP account and not in reserves. Balance of capital account surplus. It shows credit items are more than debit items, indicates net inflow of capital. Receipts of loans and sale of shares is more than repayment of loans and purchase of assets. Balanced capital account shows credit items equal to debit items, capital inflows is equal to capital outflows. Capital account deficit, it shows credit items is less than debit items, indicates net outflow of capital. Repayment of loans and purchase of assets is more than receipt of loan and sale of shares.